Coming up, till death do us part for those who take the leap. Although this park in Hamilton, Ontario is primarily known for its wonderful landscape, it also has the reputation of being a supernatural hotspot. A local woman, familiar with the rumors of hauntings, came to the area to take some photographs. She was hoping to capture a ghostly image on film. Though she never ended up with any photographic evidence, she did have a face-to-face encounter with the legendary ghost of Jane Riley.
The Albion Falls are located at the southernmost tip of Kings Forest Park in Hamilton, Ontario. In the early 19th century, a young woman, heartbroken from a love affair gone wrong, stood at the top of a cliff not far from the thundering falls and leaped to her death 100 feet below. The steep drop has since been dubbed Lover's Leap, and numerous encounters with this forlorn young woman have been reported.
The history of Lover's Leap has become popular folklore amongst many of the locals who live in the Hamilton area.
My name is George Brady. I'm with HamiltonParanormal.com. The site that we were at today is called Albion Falls. What we do is we go all throughout the Hamilton Wentworth region and beyond to get and collect information on haunted locations. In my opinion, Mount Albion Falls does have spirit activity.
The tragic love story from which the legend was born is filled with great promise and terrible sorrow. A young man by the name of Joseph Russo would come to Albion Falls to meet his true love, Jane Riley. Often, they would spend the day strolling the area. It was their favorite place, and it was there that Joseph proclaimed his undying love for Jane. Their hearts were filled with passion. The two were happier than they had ever been. As they gazed out at the falls, time stood still for them. However, a tragic turn of events would plague these falls with eternal sadness. Young Joseph was worried about his wedding night. Wanting it to be perfect, he requested a meeting with the madam of a local bordello, hoping she could offer him some advice. The two met at the bottom of the gorge. With plenty of experience in the ways of love, the madam assured Joseph that when the time came, his feelings for Jane would guide him. Meanwhile, Jane, who knew nothing of Joseph's concern, came to the falls looking for him. But when she peered over to the foot of the gorge, she found her beloved Joseph hugging a local prostitute. Jane misinterpreted what she saw, assuming the two were involved in an affair. She was devastated. Joseph called out to her. He wanted to explain. But she was heartbroken and ran off trying to hide her tears. For Jane, her once favorite place became a painful reminder of Joe's infidelity. Now the falls would bring her nothing but heartache. She was desperate for answers and returned to the gorge, hoping to discover some clue that would explain Joseph's uncharacteristic actions. As she looked down at the steep cliff, she hoped her sorrow would subside. But it did not. At that moment, she decided to end her own life.
Jane had snuck out of her home up to the ledge of Lover's Leap, and she had committed the act of suicide by tossing herself over into the gorge, and she plunged to her death 120 feet. Her body was found on September the 4th, 1915. And from that moment on, Jane Riley's spirit, even today, on a moonlit night, one can hear silent sobs at the bottom of the Albion Falls Gorge.